So, hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning into our program. We're going to be talking all about how to use our Deerfield Public Library Roku. My name is Sam Rose and I'm the multimedia librarian here. What I do is I am collection development, manage all of the DVDs, Blu-rays, music, um, video games, and Library of Things collection. And part of the LOT or Library of Things collection includes Rokus. So I do have some experience in how they work and how to manage them. And yeah, I'm here to impart my knowledge here to y'all today, this wonderful snowy afternoon. We're going to go over what we're going to cover in today's presentation. It shouldn't be too long, probably around like 25-30 minutes. So I have plenty of time for questions at the end. So we are going to talk about what a Roku device is. We're going to briefly cover what the Roku circulation policy here at the library is. We're going to go over the setup of a Roku on a television and how to connect it to the Wi-Fi. And then we're going to talk in detail about the streaming services that we have to offer. Right now, we are in the middle of like reconfiguring a lot of things. And so I'll be going over that when the time comes. And then we'll have questions at the end, but you could always feel free to drop a question in the chat, and my wonderful coworker Jamie will be able to field them to me. But first, I have questions for you. Have you all seen any good movies lately? What are some good movies / TV shows that you have seen recently? So I'm gonna give y'all like maybe a minute or so. Jamie is gonna field the chat because I can't see the responses coming in, but I hope everyone has seen a lot of good movies. What movies have I seen lately? I saw Don't Worry, Darling. That was with Harry Styles. And I thought it was pretty good. There was like a big controversy because like Shia LaBeouf was supposed to be Harry Styles' character, but then Harry Styles got in, and then there was just a lot of back and forth drama. But it ended up being a good movie after all.
Yeah, we were talking before we started this program of one not to see. What was the one I just watched last night?
Berlin
Syndrome. Terrible. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe it's for someone, but for me, no, thank you. It's like a Stockholm syndrome sort of thing. So don't watch it. It's on Netflix if you're curious. But anyway, so Helene says Cocaine Bear. Susan Kennedy. Susan says A Man Named Otto. I say an older one. Jojo Rabbit was a good one for me. I really liked that movie.
I loved Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, it started off a little. I wasn't sure about the concept, but they pulled it off. So.
Oh, they really did.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, cool. All right. Thank you all for your answers. There'll be more questions throughout the presentation, so I look forward to the interaction. But anyway, we're going to start with what is a Roku? Sometimes I just have too much fun putting these PowerPoints together, their transitions. All right, so what is a Roku? A Roku is a device that allows you to access streaming content on it. So what I like to think about when I think of a Roku is a house metaphor or a home metaphor, where the Roku device, the physical device, is like the physical home with the barriers. And inside there are many different rooms for us to explore. These rooms are metaphorical, but they are like different streaming services that come into the form of applications. That in a nutshell is a Roku. There are different kinds of Rokus out there. What the Deerfield Library has is the Roku Express. that's a very portable Roku that's easy to carry from one place to another. It's pretty budget friendly, probably only like 30 or 35 bucks. But all you'll need is like a TV, power cord, and HDMI cable, and then you're set. But that Roku Express is really one of the many types of Rokus that are out there. There are many more types that range in price and capability and functionality. And that could be found at this link below. We won't really be going over all the different products that Rokus have, but I know at the end of the presentation, or maybe in a couple days, we'll be able to send you this PowerPoint as reference in case you want to refer to it ever. So there are many different streaming services to choose from as well that we have to offer. I listed some of them on the right-hand side of the screen. We'll be going over those more in detail a little bit later. And we're going through that reconfiguring process. But this is only like a drop in a river of all the apps that Roku's offer. We're not going to be going over that as well because we're trying to stick to what Deerfield Library Rokus have. But if you're ever curious, you can always go to their website. It's just listed right there of roku.com/what's on. And then you can kind of explore what kind of options you'll have available to you. Next, we're going to go over a little bit about our circulation policy. But I snuck in another question. How many of you have previously checked out a Roku from us, from the Deerfield Library? And
I
just,
have.
I know I have too.
I have recently, just so I kind of knew how to use it at home, but I watched White Lotus, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that was pretty good. Yes.
So yeah, don't be shy. If you have, great. If you haven't, that is just a-okay. That's more for you to learn in this PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, so a couple yeses, a couple people have.
Oh, excellent. Awesome. We have a circulation policy here with our Rokus. You can check out our Rokus for a time period of 3 weeks. Theoretically, the renewal limit is twice if no one else is on hold for it. But I put this with a big asterisk because there's typically hold lists for Rokus. So typically it's going to be a 3-week period. And then what people do is if they really want to keep watching it, they just put themselves back onto the hold list or not. But anyway, once you are done with the Roku and ready to return it, you should return it at the media desk. That's on the first floor. You're going to go right in through the set of doors, take a left, and you should see the desk right across the way from where you return the books. You do not want to put it into the drive-through bins or in the conveyor belt things because books can fall on top of the Roku and can damage the Roku, and we want to kind of keep the circulation going for as long as possible. So we do ask that you do stop in to return the Roku at the media desk. All right, now we're gonna get on to setting up a Roku. You only need a couple of components, and the best thing is that it's all included with the checkout. So Rokus all come with the Roku device, an HDMI cord, a power cord, and a remote, and all of them are included, so you don't need any of your own parts at all, which is great. So we're going to kind of go over a little bit of the step-by-step is you're going to connect your Roku device to a power outlet that supplies the power to the device. You're then going to connect the HDMI cord from the Roku device to the television. That transmits the information from the Roku to the television, so you can kind of so you can see the shows on the screen. Then you're going to want to change your TV's input to the correct HDMI input. Typically, that'll be either like HDMI 1, 2, or 3, but you just want to be mindful of which HDMI slot you put the cord in. And then once you get that all set up, you're going to see a home screen. However, nothing will work until you connect it to the internet, because it needs the internet to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to, on the left-hand column of the screen, you're going to scroll up to settings, and then you're going to see all these options, but you're going to hit network. Then you're going to want to hit setup connection, and then it'll show wireless over here. And then you can choose your Wi-Fi network and then log in. You will need to remember your login password. Sometimes it could be very long, but that would be necessary to log into the Roku.
So Sam, do you need to do that every time you log in, or will it remember?
By the time like you enter it once, it should remember, so you won't have to do it constantly.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to.
Okay.
All righty. Now we're going on to the streaming services that we have to offer. So some of our popular titles, some popular titles you can stream on our Rokus. You can watch Stranger Things. They have a 5th season coming out. If you're like a little bit of sci-fi and a little bit of horror and fantasy, this is a really good one with like a backdrop of the 1980s. You can watch that on Netflix. You can watch The Dropout on Hulu. That is Elizabeth Holmes' story of Theranos. Very intriguing story. We've seen her on the news last year when she was on trial. You can watch Miss Fisher's Modern Murder Mysteries. You can watch that on Acorn TV. Acorn TV has a bunch of different British content, so it's very, very pleasant, like murder mysteries. For those of you who like Star Wars, the new Mandalorian is out. I think it's released like every Wednesday or something, but you could keep up with that on Disney Plus. It's Oscar season. Oscars are coming up this Sunday, I believe. So The Fabelmans is one of the movies that is nominated across the board. And you can also watch that on the Roku using our Vudu app. And a quick plug about this, we're going to go over this a little bit later because I think this is kind of like an underutilized but really powerful app that you can use to watch a lot of great movies. You can also watch, as Jamie was watching previously, The White Lotus. So it's another like kind of murder mystery, but it's always set in beautiful like islands. It has great character development, and it's just finished its 2nd season, and I think it's renewed for its 3rd. You can watch that on HBO Max. Or if you're looking for like any like lighthearted comedy, Ted Lasso is always a great one to watch. And then you can watch that on Apple TV. And so I went over most of what we had, but this is a full list of what we have. Some things that I didn't go over are PBS Passport, so you can watch all of the PBS documentaries and content on our PBS Passport. You can also watch a lot of sports on ESPN Plus. That's included in our Disney bundle. We're also going to be getting a subscription to BritBox, so more British content heading your way. You can also access Hoopla and Canopy on each of the Roku devices. Some of you might be familiar with Hoopla. That is typically where you go to like check out ebooks or e-audiobooks. But the fun fact is Hoopla also has a bunch of TV shows and they have a bunch of movies on there that you could also access on a Roku. You would just need to sign up for an account there using your username and password and connecting it with your library card number. And similar to Hoopla, we also have Canopy. Canopy is a wonderful resource as well. They have a variety of like documentaries, art house films, independent films, and a lot more. Similarly to Hoopla, you have to create your own account and connect it to your Deerfield Library card number. But each of them, I believe, has 15 streams per month. So you'll be allowed 15 checkouts from Hoopla and then 15 checkouts from Canopy per month. And then once there's a new month, then it just resets back to 15. Both of those are really great applications to take advantage of. So as I was saying before, we are kind of reconfiguring our streaming services by picking them up into different sets. So we're going to be offering 4 different sets of Roku devices, and each set has different streaming services on the device. So we'll have like a dedicated number of Rokus for a lot of different streaming services. So there's going to be a set of Rokus that will only be able to stream Vudu and Netflix. And you'll only be able to check out those and only be able to stream the Vudu and Netflix on them. Similarly, there's another set for just the Disney bundle, which is going to be Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. There's going to be a set for PBS Passport, Acorn TV, and BritBox, a lot of great British content. And set 4 is going to be the Apple TV and HBO Max. However, all of the sets are going to have Canopy and Hoopla on them because those are individual username and sign-ins, and they can be more flexible throughout the sets, whereas like Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus requires just like a couple of accounts that we circulate around our community.
So I have a question then. So how do you know, how do you put yourself on hold for one particular type of Roku?
Oh, yes. So either you can call in to our phone number and ask for the media desk and they'll be able to help you, or you can go in and use our place a hold on it online through your account. So you would just search like Roku's, and then there's like a filler box, and then you'd want to hit Library of Things, and then you'll be able to see the different sets of Roku's that we have. They'll be kind of labeled as like LOT Roku Vudu Netflix, LOT Roku Disney Bundle, LOT Roku PBS Passport, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can just request it via that way.
Okay, so then if you want to put yourself on hold for 2 different types, can you do that at the same time, or are you just allowed one Roku hold at a time?
You can. So say if you want want the Vudu and Netflix and the Apple TV, you can put yourself on hold for both set 1 and set 4. You can do 1, 2, 3, or all of them. But you cannot put yourself on hold twice for the same one. So like, let's say you already have a Vudu and Netflix Roku checked out and you want to put yourself back on hold, you're going to have to return that set before you put yourself back on hold.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Awesome. All righty then. So, as I alluded to earlier, I'm going to go over a little bit about Vudu. That, as you remember, is going to be on set one along with Netflix. Um, that is a platform where you can also stream a wide variety of movies, but those are controlled by me actually. So how those movies come to be is that I purchase movies from our vendor, and then they come in with these digital, like these slips that have a digital code on them. And so what I do is I go onto our account and input the code and onto our Vudu accounts. And then that makes it, in turn, makes the movie streamable using our Vudu app. So there's a lot of movies that we already have out now that are brand new, just like The Fablemans, that you can stream on Vudu in case that you don't want to make the trip in because it's snowy out or something, or you just want to stay at home. You can watch a lot of these popular movies on Vudu. They are new releases and I'm constantly updating them. So I would say maybe like 2 or 3 times a month I'm updating new movies onto Vudu. However, not all of the movies do come with that digital slip. So it's just dependent on if the movies come with that code in them. But a lot of good movies do have the code. So it's going to look, the app is going to look like this, Vudu Fandango. And then you're going to want to click onto it. And then it's going to take you onto a home screen. The home screen is not the place you want to be. That's kind of like the shopping area. That's not our collection that we have. What you'd want to do is like scroll over to the left where you see this, this bar, and you're going to want to highlight under My Vudu, and then you're going to click My Vudu. And then you'll be taken to a screen that kind of looks like this. And you can browse different kinds of movies dependent on like if you want to see what we recently put on. At the time this picture was taken, I recently put on like The Menu, Violent Night, Banshees of Inisherin, Tar, etc. So you can see from like the order they were put on, or you can always hit My Movies right up here by the star. And once you hit that, you'll be directed to a screen that can list it from A to Z. Typically, the movies are going to be fairly recent, maybe within the last like 10, 15 years. Some might be a little older. But as you see, like from the time that that I took this picture, there are over 700 movies uploaded to Vudu. So I think it's a really good resource. And a lot of these are movies that might not be on other streaming sites like Netflix or Hulu. They might just only be on like just on DVD or something. So I think that Vudu is a really great streaming source that we should all take advantage of. So I have a couple more questions for y'all. Are there any streaming services you would like us to offer that we aren't currently offering?
I feel like you're reading my mind right now. I just had a thought.
Maybe I
What
am a
about
mind reader.
I think you know, since you know me, you know I like Natasha Lyonne, and she's got that new show. I can't remember the name of it, but it's on
Poker
Peacock.
Face.
Yes. Do you think is Peacock something that would be available through?
It's definitely been on my mind.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, that's on the list of next apps that we might be able to purchase, but I'm definitely open to any and all suggestions too.
Okay.
I do want to watch that show. That's a really good show. And I know how much you love Natasha Lyonne.
I
Jamie.
do. I don't see any other questions in the chat at this time. So,
Okay, yeah. And if you have any other suggestions, you could feel free to jump in anytime. There's another question. Are there any streaming services that we are currently offering that you don't think you're going to want to use?
Probably give it a few more seconds here, but I don't see, I think they're happy with all of them.
Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with all of them too. All right, and that's really all I've got for the presentation. And if anyone has any further questions for me, you can type it in the chat, or you could always email me at my email website or email address at srosen@deerfieldlibrary.org. I'd be happy to field any of the questions and reply.
Great. So we do have a question. So if it's not connecting through internet at home, do we need to bring it in or should we call? What should we do?
If it's not connecting, I would first contact your internet provider, or maybe reset your router. Because typically the Wi-Fi does connect to any Wi-Fi signal that it picks up. So either reset your router, or I would try to contact your internet provider, because it shouldn't be an issue on the Roku.
Okay.
And also, like, during our check-in process, what we do is we always test it out using our Wi-Fi as well. So every time that you guys return the Roku, there's someone on the media desk that makes sure that the Roku connects to the Wi-Fi. And we also go into each of the applications and test out by logging it or going into each app and playing an app to or playing a movie on the app to make sure that everything is working according to plan. So we do have that like kind of safety net during our check-in process as well. Also, another thing is that you do not want to log out of any of the streaming services after you're done using them. You want to keep everything logged in so we can have like a smooth transition onto the next person onto the hold list.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be a different answer. Okay.
Mm.
Just kidding. So is there an age requirement for checking out a Roku?
No, there's not. There's no age requirement at all. Anyone with a library card can check out our Rokus.
And if it's not a Deerfield library card, but if it's a card from a surrounding library, are you able to check out a Roku or?
So theoretically, yes. However, the Roku would have to be on the shelf for you to check it out. Typically, reciprocal borrowers cannot be placed on the hold list. But if the Rokus are on the shelf, then reciprocal borrowers would be able to check it out.
Okay. And what's the typical wait time then if you're on hold for a Roku, say 8 weeks?
Ooh, that's a good question. So the breakdown really is, and it includes like a lot of different factors. So we have a lot of Rokus for each of the sets. I think there's like for the Vudu and Netflix, there's going to be 8 Rokus in circulation. So if each of those have 3 weeks on them, depending on how long the hold list is, it might go by quicker than most. It depends on if the current patron has the Roku and checks it in a timely fashion, or depending on what place you are on the hold list. And it's always a valid point, or always a valid question to ask what number you're in, what number in line you're in when you're calling to the multimedia desk, to be like, oh, hey, what number am I in for the Vudu/Netflix Roku? And you can get a better or clearer understanding that way. But it really just depends on a lot of different factors how quickly it goes by. But typically the more Rokus that we have in circulation, the quicker it will go. So we try to keep it the wait time down to a minimum.
Okay. And then Helene, is wondering, how do you connect with a VR mask?
With a VR mask.
The virtual reality mask, does that connect in any way?
I
Is that a
don't-
separate thing?
I think that might be a separate thing.
Okay,
I'm not an expert at VR masks. I don't have one personally. My understanding is that it goes through applications on your phone, but I don't think it has a VR connectivity to it. But yeah, that's to the best of my knowledge of my limited understanding of the VR goggles,
yeah,
is that you would need your like a cell phone for it to work.
okay, I think you're right. Yeah. And then another question of mine, what's the movie we're playing on March 14th? It's March 14th, right?
Yes, it is. That's coming up this Tuesday, isn't it? We are going to be playing Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. So we every second Tuesday of the month, we host new movie screenings. And this new movie is going to be Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. It's a very cute movie. Has both adult and kid themes to it, so it's good for all family. So yeah, I encourage you to stop by. We will have snacks provided for you.
Yay, snacks are always good.
Oh yes.
Great. Well, I don't see any other questions right now. I guess we could hang on for just a minute. If you guys have any last minute questions here, we will be working on the recording and putting this up on our YouTube channel. And the link will probably come from me. So you'll get an email from me. I will email everyone that was registered for this class with that link. And you can check out some of our other past programs on YouTube as well. We also have kind of an adult story time where one of our librarians is reading, I believe, The Hobbit right now. So that's kind of fun. Once a week that's uploaded. And yeah, this is great. I learned some things.
Oh, good.
And yeah, work on that Peacock. That would
Definitely.
be very exciting.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm gonna
All right.
stop sharing.
All right. So if you guys have any other questions that you think about later on, feel free to email either me or Sam, and we'll be sure to get those answered for you. Okay. Well, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully it warms up a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so too.
All right.
Alrighty,
See ya.
take care, everyone.
Bye.